Rylan Clark urged listeners to lay off Scott Mills after the radio presenter stepped in for veteran broadcaster Ken Bruce today. It comes after the Eurovision host sparked a divide on Twitter as some listeners took to the micro-blogging site and complained about the BBC Radio 2 stand-in. Scott, 49, has stepped in to cover Ken, 71, while the pop master remains absent from his hit morning show. Radio 2 listeners will have noticed the veteran broadcaster has been missing from the airwaves since last week, leaving many confused. The show, which pulls in a whopping 8.4 million weekly listeners, boasts the largest audience on UK radio. Ken has been at the helm of the show for 34 years, although he has taken some time off in recent months to sort out a minor medical matter. Scott took to Twitter today and shared he will be filling in again for Ken this week. He wrote, "All week I'm sitting in for Ken Bruce on Radio 2 from 9:30 a.m. each day at Mimi Webb will be picking her tracks of my years just after 11:30 a.m. The broadcaster was met with some criticism as listeners reacted online. BBC presenter Rylan rushed to defend his colleague following some backlash on social media. In view of his 1.7 million followers, he penned, "Scott Mills is an amazing radio host and I'm loving hearing him on our Radio 2. He's also one of the good uns." Layoff X. Twitter user, Wendy commented, "If people don't like listening to Scott taking over from the lovely Ken Bruce, then they have the right to turn to another station or off." Charity remarked, "People can like what they like, can't they?" Louise moaned, "At Radio 2 do you not have anyone better than Scott Mills to fill in for Ken?" Dragon's Den star Sarah Davis won't leave £35 million inheritance to Son's latest GMB host. Charlotte Hawkins dazzles in red as she flashes the flesh. GMB Jeanette Manrara in loved-up display with husband Alyaj Skorjanek. Pictures, Gerdner in Burvey wrote, "Scott Mills is standing in again anyway." Painful to listen to. However, others rushed to praise Scott, as Gary gushed, "Loving at Scott_Mills on Radio 2 this morning. The sooner he makes the move over permanently the better. Then I can fully embrace being too old for R1." Queen Bee shared, "It's horrible to see all the negative comments about at Scott_Mills. He is brilliant presenter, seems a lovely person and doesn't deserve it." Tina said, "Love at Scott_Mills and whenever he sits in for anyone I'm delighted at Radio 2. Sharon added, "Loving at Scott_Mills on at Radio 2 this morning, keeping me company while I WFH, I am working, honestly." Ken is set to return to Radio 2 on May 30 after a couple of weeks off, according to the BBC. While working on BBC Radio 1 during the day, Scott migrated over to Radio 2 cover slots in 2017. He has been covering Ken regularly in recent years,